let's go on to the next one then, which is The Walking Dead is the most pirated TV show of 2018. This is an article put together by FanFest News. Just kind of an interesting thing to talk about here. So, The Walking Dead was the most torrented TV series in 2018, knocking Game of Thrones out of first place, which is not a surprise because Game of Thrones had taken the win for 6 years straight, but didn't have any episodes to air this year, right? So it's not a huge surprise. So there's no telling if Walking Dead will keep the spot going into next year, when the Game of Thrones returns, of course. According to Torrent Freak, Walking Dead has fallen in the lineup since 2014, and its episodes are downloaded millions of times each. In its 9th season, its following is steady, despite live ratings going down. The results are based on downloads on BitTorrent and do only make up a small piece of the piracy options out there. So they are saying that these results are only based on BitTorrent, while there's tons of other torrenting resources out there. And so these numbers aren't, exact. They should really be TWD's most pirated TV show of 2018 on BitTorrent, but it is what it is. So the full ranking then, let's read this out. The top 10. So number 1, The Walking Dead. Number 2, The Flash. Number 3, Big Bang Theory. Number 4, Vikings. 5, Titans. 6, Arrow. 7, Supernatural. 8, Westworld. 9, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. And 10, Suits. I was a bit surprised by Suits, but it does kind of make sense to me because, especially with Suits being on USA Network, right, it's a little tough, and they're really exclusive with, you have to be living in America to watch the show. I know that Bravo puts the episodes on, I believe, and I think that goes into Canada. I'm not sure where else that you can get Bravo, but I know a lot of people, have had trouble with that, with the, USA Network being very, very strict about that. You have to have an American address, internet address to watch episodes online or on their streaming stuff. So I get that. But anyway, so number 1 is The Walking Dead. Are we surprised? Not really, right? Game of Thrones, move aside for 2018. Walking Dead comes in. This is interesting because a ton of people, right? They're all talking about, oh, the ratings are down, right? The ratings are terrible and all this stuff. But let's just think about this. I mean, if networks really took into account the torrenting numbers and the pirating statistics, which are basically impossible to get. I mean, how accurate are these numbers? I don't know. I mean, an argument could be made that maybe they didn't go through all the processes here to get the most accurate statistics. Maybe they did, though, right? I mean, it says that they are only based on BitTorrent, so they do acknowledge that. But anyways, imagine if all of these pirating numbers were also calculated into networks' totals. I mean, that would be insane. Obviously, they're not because they don't get the money from it, but it's just crazy how, how much those numbers would be inflated. It'd be crazy to think. And it's just interesting, though, that we can get a little bit, behind the scenes here a little bit and get some, numbers for these shows. And, of course, movies are huge in this torrenting stuff, too, and pirating and all that stuff, and for sure. So, interesting stuff. Again, I'm not that surprised by this one. The Walking Dead, low ratings. So what, right? Has tons of fans still. And a lot of people look into live ratings, but The Walking Dead has always been very successful with PVR, 2-day, ratings, 3-day ratings, and all this stuff. And that's not taken into account when you just look at live viewers. And so that's another thing, too, for AMC. Especially, that went into the season 7 premiere for The Walking Dead, right? I think it's the most viewed episode on cable TV ever, right? And with 17 million. And I think, obviously not all those 17 million are live viewers for that episode. And so, at least I don't think so. I think those are total viewers. And so, of course, a lot of viewers in there from PVR, 2-day rating, 3-day rating. And, of course, you can bet a lot of that, extra bit of stuff is obviously pirated stuff and torrents and all that stuff. And so, honestly, I put that total, I mean, who knows? There's really no way to really calculate it, but, I'd put that total closer to probably 30 million is probably closer with, the pirating and torrent stuff that was put on in downloads. And also now with AMC Premium, that's a big thing too. And I'm not sure if AMC will be adding those type of numbers to their ratings. I don't think so. But that also plays a big part now, especially with The Walking Dead, because if you have AMC Premium, you can watch the episodes commercial free, and that's a big part of it too. So anyways, The Walking Dead still remains to be the best show on cable. But again, we'll have to see. Game of Thrones returns in 2019. I have a feeling that The Walking Dead is going to be dethroned, no pun intended there, by Game of Thrones. But, definitely they'll be in the top 3, conversation for the next... Who knows, right? As long as the series runs, pretty much, The Walking Dead is a fan-based TV series, and it will continue to be. And this just kind of proves, what we all kind of knew. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think of that one. TWD, The Walking Dead is the most pirated TV show of 2018.